So you want to put someone on a performance improvement plan, the infamous PIP. Well, watch this video first. Really pause and watch this other video because I have 6 really important reasons why you shouldn't do a PIP. And if you make it through all 6 of those reasons and you're like, nope, nope, I'm still good, come back here. All right. So if giving a PIP is the right thing to do, let's talk about how to make it as successful as possible. Both a process to help the person change their behavior and save their job, but also a process that's good for your relationship, good for the culture of your organization, and something that reflects well for all the other members of your team who aren't on the PIP. First, you want a PIP to be really specific. So if somebody is not achieving the outcomes they need to achieve because they don't have the skills, a performance improvement plan may be more based on getting them some additional training or having them, partnered with someone to help them learn what they need to learn. But if the person's problem is motivation, you're pretty confident they could do the job, they just choose not to, or they phone it in. Well, that performance improvement plan needs to look very differently. So you want that plan. You can't just pull out somebody else's PIP and cut and paste the names and off you go. A performance improvement plan should really get at whatever the root issues are of the performance gap and be tailored to the person. Second, while a lot of performance improvement plan templates I see are really focused on, and you did this wrong, and you did this wrong, and you did this wrong, and this sucks. Well, if you're doing that, it's actually more like a punishment document rather than a forward-looking tool that's going to help you change things. So while it's important to address the performance objectives and the current gaps to those objectives, make that tight and then get on to here's what needs to be different, so that the person feels like you actually believe it's possible. If the whole thing is just about why they're not up for the job, well, that's going to create that self-fulfilling prophecy. Well, obviously, I'm not up for the job. So focus forward is really important. The third thing, make your expectations incredibly clear. Now, it's quite possible that unclear, ambiguous, equivocal expectations are why they aren't performing in the first place. So let's make sure that they know what you want. So instead of saying, you're not doing well in this job because you're not creative enough, well, creative is not helpful in terms of a performance improvement plan. You want to use nouns and verbs. So need the choice of graphics to be graphics that are have never been used before in this industry. So you want to get away from things that are squishy adjectives, slippery, slimy adjectives about being more innovative or more of a team player or more executive presence. All of these things just leave people with as many questions as before the PIP. And instead, you want to be very clear about what they need to do differently to achieve the outcomes you're looking for. Number 4, you can't just create a PIP and then well, see you in 3 months to fire you. Oof, how demoralizing. So instead, you have to make sure that along the line, with a set of very, frequent milestones, you're providing feedback and course corrections. Otherwise, again, the person's going to feel like you never really wanted them to improve their performance. You just wanted to have the paperwork done to fire them. So, and why does that matter? Well, it matters because it's your own integrity. It's the integrity of the culture of the organization. So and that's why I asked you to watch the other video first, if that's the case, if you just want the plan as documentation so that HR will let you fire the person, then don't use a PIP at all. So feedback and course corrections throughout. Number 5, don't lose your backbone halfway through and say oh, well, okay, well, another couple of months well, if you have timelines for the performance improvement plan, which every good performance improvement plan should have, stick to those timelines. Again, it just goes back to fairness, integrity, make the plan the right plan and then stick to it. Number 6, don't delay the ultimate decision. So leaving somebody in a state of that performance improvement plan so they know they're not measuring up, it is a bit cruel and inhumane to leave somebody in that position. It's a very desperate feeling. It's not great. And so leaving them there for a month on end is not very kind. So if you've had a performance improvement plan, they have not met the bar that you need, do move quickly to let the person go. And that is not only important for them because again, it's unkind to leave someone failing and everyone knowing they're failing, but it's really important for you because this is probably getting an outsized amount of your attention. And it's very important for the other members of your team to say you mean it, to understand that accountability has meaning in your team. So don't delay the ultimate decision. And one last thing I would say, as you're going along, get some help from human resources. They can support you with how to do the process well. They can be a good sounding board to make sure the way you're talking about it reflects reality. They can test and challenge if you're starting to get into things in the performance improvement plan that maybe don't belong there, like if you're really talking about their personality as opposed to their performance. So it's really helpful to get that support, but also the objectivity that comes from having someone from human resources in along the way. So performance improvement plans, sometimes your organization even requires that you have them. So if you feel that it's the right thing to do, this is a person where there is a hope that they can improve and stay on and have a successful job in the organization, great. And if that's the case, then give them a plan that's nice and specific, focused on the future, at very, very clear expectations. Then provide feedback as you're going, but stick to the timelines and don't let that ultimate decision of whether to keep them or terminate them slide. Make sure you get help along the way.